We packed this luncheon with several meaningful parts that make up a great program. Here is the batting order. Up first, opening remarks from the ESX All-Star host companies, ADS Security, and lead company. Next, we'll recognize the winner of CSAA's Marketing Marvel Award, followed by the Police Dispatch Quality and Security Industry Alarm Coalition William and Moody Awards. Wrapping up the awards portion of the program is ESA's Youth Scholarship presentation. And batting last but not least, we are honored to welcome Newtown, Connecticut Police Chief Michael Kehoe. As you can see, we have a packed program, so let's kick it off right now by welcoming our 2013 ESX All-Star host companies, ADS Security and Lead Company. ESX is proud to have contributions from Nashville's leading electronic security providers as this year's All-Star host companies. ADS and Lead Company have graciously contributed to the programming for this year's event. And now please welcome John Sarasulu, President and CEO of ADS Security, and Larry Brooks, Director of System Integration at Lead Company, for a few remarks. And first up is John.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of all the employees of ADS Security, I'd like to extend a warm welcome. We're glad to have you here for ESX 2013. Glad to have you in our wonderful hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. And glad to welcome you to this magnificent new facility that we have the opportunity to kind of break in. As many of you know, this facility just opened a few weeks ago. And it's great to have the opportunity to experience what is really the standard for convention centers now across the country. We're really proud of this facility here, and it's great to have the opportunity to show it off. And in our view now, in addition to the great honky-tonks downtown and the wonderful nightlife in Nashville, the great restaurants we have, and of course the southern hospitality and charm that you always find in Nashville, this facility is one more reason that we at ADS hope that ESX continues to call Nashville home. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. I look forward to meeting many of you over the next couple of days.
John did a great job, except the nomenclature of break-in. I don't think he should be using that in terms of this crowd here. Anyway, I'd like to bring up Larry from Lead Company.
Thank you, and I welcome you also to Nashville. Appreciate you coming here and staying here, and we want you to come back as well. An interesting story, I come from a family of not really system integrators, but almost alarm dealers of the past, and I can remember when I was 11 years old in the early 70s, basically we had, NBFAA had a association meeting, and that meeting was held in my backyard. And that backyard had a total of about somewhere around 54 people invited. And it's interesting to see a gathering of today in this industry of integrators come together. Technology is changing, and we're all changing with technology. And it's just a great thing to see and a great thing to learn, and as we all evolve, basically. But I also welcome you here. If I can do anything for you during your stay, you please let me know, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you to ADS and Lead Company for all their support. Now we're going to get to the awards portion of our program, so if I could have the folks that are presenting, Steve Dixon, Kelly Bond, Stan Martin, and Scott Goldfine, come to the stage, please. Now it's our time to honor some excellent work and dedication among our peers in the industry. Scott Goldfine, Editor-in-Chief for Security Sales and Integration, and Stan Martin, Executive Director of SEAC, will now step forward to present industry awards. Scott is up first with CSAA's Marketing Marvel Award, followed by a joint presentation by Scott and Stan for the Police Dispatch Quality Award, and then Stan will present SEAC's William and Moody Award. Please give a warm welcome to Scott Goldfein.
Good afternoon. It's such a great pleasure to be here once again at this fantastic event. I've been here every year and it just keeps getting better and better. And what a great venue. Terrific. Also very proud to present the second annual CSA 5 Diamond Marketing Marvel Award, sponsored by Security Sales and Integration. Its purpose is to recognize and honor companies that use their CSAA 5 Diamond designation to better position themselves in the Central Station monitoring marketplace. Inspire other 5 Diamond members to market this advantage, heighten program awareness to CSA members and the industry, and to elevate the profile of 5 Diamond companies for their professionalism to police and first responders, mainstream media, and the general public. I encourage you to go online and learn more about the 5 Diamond program. SSI is delighted to be associated with the Marketing Marvel program. I'm personally honored to be among the judges. This year's winner and runner-up will be featured in the magazine in November, and also CSAA's Fall Dispatch. And now let's take a look at this year's Marvel Award finalists. First up, Engineer Protection Systems, and secondly, we have Metro Dial Corporation. Before revealing the winning company, let me tell you a little bit about how they truly exemplify what the Marketing Marvel program represents. Among the multitude of ways the firm promotes and leverages its CSA 5 Diamond accreditation is displaying its logo, the 5 Diamond logo that is, on banners at Alarm Association meetings and trade conferences. It's also prominently marketed through collateral, email, social media, presenting it as validation to introduce the Automated Secure Alarm Protocol, or ASAP program, to local authorities having jurisdiction. In addition, the company has successfully used its 5 Diamond status to obtain favorable insurance rates and strengthen its relationship with responding agencies. But literally, the sweetest aspect of this company's campaign has been the Hershey chocolate bars it hands out encased in custom 5 Diamond program wrappers. How's that for ingenuity? With that, please join me in congratulating this year's Marketing Marvel Award, Metro Dial.
I just wanted to thank SSI and the CSAA for this award. 5 Diamond program is such an important part of our corporate identity and in the training of all our staff. And we also utilize it for marketing purposes. It's really been very helpful as we expand our company nationwide. I also just wanted to recognize some of my staff that's with me today. Lorraine Valancourt from my admin staff and Evie Estrada from my dealer relations staff. And I also wanted to thank Peter Lowett so much for being my dad and also teaching me everything I know about the alarm industry. Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations again to Metro Dial. At this time, I'd like to bring Stan Martin, Executive Director of the Security Industry Alarm Coalition, up to get us rolling with the PDQ and also the Moody.
Thank you, Scott. In the interest of time today, we're going to take pictures after lunch. So if all the recipients could remember that. I am Stan Martin, Executive Director for the Security Industry Alarm Coalition. Again, thank you to ESX, the Central Station Alarm Association, and ESA for giving us this opportunity at lunch to share these awards with everyone. Again, we're going to do PDQ and Moody. We're going to start with the PDQ award. To actually give you more background on the award and explain the judging criteria, I'm going to ask Scott Goldfein who is one of our judges, to come up and go through that with you. Are you still up here?
Thanks, Stan. Established jointly in 2005 by the Security Industry Alarm Coalition, False Alarm Reduction Association, and Security Sales and Integration, and now also officially endorsed by the Installation Quality Program, the Police Dispatch Quality Award, or as it's perhaps better known, PDQ, targets the false alarm issue by recognizing those installing and monitoring companies that follow established industry practices and partner with law enforcement to achieve the highest quality in police dispatch requests. Companies are judged not only on their alarm rate, but also their training, literature, use of industry recommended practices like enhanced call verification or ECV, use of CSCP01 equipment, follow-up with customers, tracking problem accounts, and more. Additionally, a police department must be supportive of the award submission and submit a letter confirming the alarm rate and acceptability of the applicant. Applications are scored by 4 independent judges in 15 different areas. The goal of the PDQ program is to raise industry-wide awareness, motivate alarm companies to be proactive, and provide models that work for others to follow. In addition to today's presentation and award, the winner will also be profiled in a major feature article in the October issue of SSI. And we are delighted to be an ongoing partner in this important industry program. And now to announce this year's winner and tell you a little bit more about their outstanding alarm management practices and successes, I turn the mic back over to Stan Martin, and I thank you all once again.
Thanks, Scott. And again, thank you for being our media sponsor for this special award. I'd also like to acknowledge our co-sponsor, Honeywell, and ask their representative to come join me on stage. For those of you that don't remember, the recipient of the PDQ award gets $1,000 real cash from Honeywell, and that's a nice little perk. So I understand it from the judges this year, the competition and scoring between the top entries were, again, very, very close. Again, as Scott mentioned, there's 15 different categories, and you cannot fail on any one of these 15. You have to have high scores in all of them. So the results come only from committed companies that instill false alarm reduction initiatives at every level of their operation. This year's top 4 finalists: Alarm Detection Systems, Amherst Alarms, Engineered Protection Systems, and Vector Security. And I've got to tell you, all 4 of these companies submitted outstanding applications or they would not have been finalists. And so, with great pleasure and distinction, I'm going to introduce the 2012 because this is based on 2012 criteria. And I might add that this makes them now a 2-time winner of this, which is really an exceptional accomplishment. Please join me in acknowledging the winner of the 2012 PDQ Award, Vector Security. And I believe Pam Petro, the CEO and is the president and CEO? I always get the titles messed up. I was going to say a few words here, but we'll give you that, Pam.
Well, we are thrilled at Vector to be the recipient of this year's PDQ Award. As a company, we're passionate about this area and this aspect of our business because it doesn't just benefit our business, but it benefits our customers, and most importantly, those responding agencies that we need to be successful in our business. So we want to thank the sponsors, and most of all, I want to thank the Vector team who does all the behind-the-scenes work to make this possible. So thank you very much. We're honored.
Again, we're going to ask everyone to join us on stage after the lunch for more pictures. Okay, so as we move along now to the William N. Moody Award, I'd like Chief Chuck Brobeck, along with any previous winners of the Moody Award and this year's recipient, Sharon Elder, to all come up at one time. Come on up. And as they're coming up, I'd also like to acknowledge the rest of the SEAC team. Retired Chief, most of you should know him by now, Glenn Mowry, Deputy Chief Glenn Mowry from Charlotte. Glenn, stand up or raise your hand over there. Also, John Sargent with Tyco, who handles all the West Coast issues. We've got Ron Walters, our ordnance expert and director. Ron, I can't tell if you're standing up or waving your arm. We also have Ron Hayner, who's on stage here, who is our Northwest representative. And I'd like to make a special announcement. For those of you that don't know, we've added a second law enforcement liaison person. He just recently retired as chief of Sparks, Nevada Police Department. He's here with his wife, Kathy, and I hope that as they both stand up, you give them a nice warm round and come over and see them after lunch and say hello. Steve, Kathy. And I'm excited about that, I tell you. Okay, the William N. Moody Award, created in 2004 by the SEAC Board of Directors to acknowledge those special few individuals who unselfishly give of their times and talent to the alarm management issues, and who reflect the attributes of Bill Moody, which include integrity, fairness, perseverance in the face of adversity, all very unique qualities in honor of a very, very special person indeed. Now, I'd like retired Chief Chuck Brobeck, who's been a good friend and an ally of our industry for 20 plus years now, to say a few words. He's worked directly with Sharon in Southern California. Chief Brobeck.
Good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to be here this afternoon to honor our recipient. I first met our award recipient back in 1995 when I was chief of police in Southern California, and I had the responsibility to work with the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and it wasn't SEAC yet, but the industry in establishing the model states alarm ordinances in California. We had 20 cities identified that we wanted to place the model states ordinance in, and I met Sharon in that quest because I needed someone from the industry side of the equation to help us make inroads into some of the police departments, particularly in Southern California. Well, I quickly discovered a vivacious, energetic person with a keen sense of humor and professionalism that was absolutely perfect for the role of representing the industry and coming into these agencies to talk about change and how change could affect the reduction of false dispatches. She was a key for success. Here it is in 2013. We're still working together. We've had a number of agencies that have established the model states ordinances. It's taken a while for this change to evolve, and it hasn't been easy, but it was a heck of a lot easier because Sharon's personality and her relationships and her integrity in building trust with stodgy law enforcement and professionals, I'm part of that world, worked very, very well and is still working today. She continues to this day to be a champion for the cause, and she's currently working with a number of departments as we speak in establishing the ordinances. In fact, as we were preparing to come into this luncheon, she received a text from a chief of police of a Southern California agency, a significant size agency, assuring her that they're having a second reading of the ordinance. She's getting these direct communications, which has been a major change for us within the environment. She's been a dear friend and a strong colleague, and I've always asked many of us out there, can we clone her about 10 or 15 times over, and it would make our job a heck of a lot easier in establishing these model states ordinances. It gives me great pleasure to be part of this award ceremony and to see my dear friend, Sharon, receive this prestigious award. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And so it is with my great pleasure to honor and introduce to you the 2013 William N. Moody Award winner, Sharon Elder. Come on up. Get your award.
I would like to certainly thank everybody for this recognition. It was very humbling to receive the call. I would never have been this successful without the mentoring that I received from Chief Brobeck, from George DeMarco, from Stan and Ron at SEAC, from George Gunning, and the people who took me under their wings so many years ago to teach me how to do this task. I also want to recognize my company, who very selfishly gives a significant amount of my time to achieve these results. And they're with me today. I have my boss, Woody Andros, and my partners, Bob D'Alto and David Steinbrenner. And lastly, I would like to thank my dad. My family has over 130 years of civil service. I'm clearly an entrepreneur, and this is in recognition in honor of my dad. Thank you very much.
One more round of applause for all of our previous winners, including Maria Melise, who I left off the slide there, but let's give them all a round. Thank you all. So as we conclude, I want to thank SEAC's financial sponsors. They're the folks that make this work. As you know, we don't sell any services or products. We just work for law enforcement and you all. So we appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all here again next year. Thank you.
I do want to confirm one thing. Chief Brobeck is stodgy, but his wife Karen is not. Okay. Okay, now this is one of our favorite parts of the presentation. To wrap up the awards portion of our program, we have a very special presentation that we're excited to give every year. To present this award and introduce our honored guests, I've invited ESA's Youth Scholarship Task Force Chair Kelly Bond from Alarm Capital Alliance and Steve Dixon from Vivint, a sponsor of ESA's Youth Scholarship Program, to make this presentation. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to be here with Steve Dixon from Vivint, the Youth Scholarship Program sponsor for 2013, and to welcome two very special people from Michigan, Cameron Hine, winner of this year's ESA Youth Scholarship, and his dad, Carl. ESA began the scholarship program many years ago as a way for us to honor and thank our partners in public safety. This year, ESA and our participating chapters gave away more than $57,500 in scholarships nationwide. We were happy to welcome Vivint as the 2013 sponsor of the Youth Scholarship Program, and Steve Dixon is here to say a few words.
Thank you, Kelly. On behalf of Vivint, I appreciate the opportunity to join you on this stage and to recognize a great young man as the recipient of this year's ESA Youth Scholarship Award. This is our first year as Vivint of being a major sponsor of the program, and we're sincerely grateful for the opportunity we have to participate in this program. One of the hallmarks of this industry in which we're all involved is the fact that the very products and services that we provide to our customers are designed to protect homes and families. I went to the store recently, made a purchase, bought some clothing, and as I left, I thought, success for this store is that I walk out content and a happy customer. Well, I've considered what does success mean for us in our industry, and it feels to me like it's a little bit of a higher calling that we're involved in, where we protect homes and families, we provide reassurance to them, we provide security services, we provide a connection to help when people may need help. So I'm proud of the industry that we're involved in. I'm also proud of the association that we have with first responders, those who deliver when those people, those very people that we're involved in assisting and protecting, need the assistance that they need. And I think that that's what makes this scholarship and participation in this program especially gratifying, is the partnership we have in awarding these scholarships. It's particularly gratifying to recognize and honor a young man, this year's award winner, who embodies the characteristics that we like to see in young people. Characteristics like leadership and goal setting, safety, the ideals represented by the Boy Scouts organization, and perhaps most importantly, a young man who recognizes the sacrifices that his father and his family and parents have made. A father who teaches, mentors, and leads his family. Vivint is proud to be a sponsor of the ESA Youth Scholarship Program, and we're very proud to recognize Cameron Hine as this year's award winner. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you so much for your support of this great program. I'd like to now invite the winner of this year's national prize, Cameron Hine, and his dad, Carl, to join us on the stage for the presentation. A little bit about Cameron. His academic achievements include, well, first of all, he is from Pinckney, Michigan. He was #1 in his class at Pinckney Community High School with a 4.0 GPA. He's been active in the Boy Scouts since 2000 and achieved the rank of Eagle Scout last summer. Cameron also serves as a member of the Pinckney Marching Band and Wind Ensemble, as well as a varsity athlete on the tennis and swimming teams. In addition, Cameron dedicates his time to his community by coaching a youth basketball team. This fall, Cameron will attend Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana, to study engineering. Cameron's father is a firefighter at the Ann Arbor Fire Department, and Cameron has this to say about him. "I have an immeasurable amount of pride in my dad. He sacrifices everything on a daily basis, including his life, to protect the safety of others. The influence of my dad has inspired me to use my talents and interests to work for the safety of others." Cameron, on behalf of the ESA, we'd like to present you with his check for $10,000. In addition, we have a plaque that I'd like to read to you. It says, "2013 Youth Scholarship Award presented to Cameron Hine for his academic excellence, community involvement, and understanding of the important service his father, Carl Hine, provides as a firefighter for their community." Again, congratulations.
Good afternoon. My name is Cameron Hine, and first I want to thank the people that made it possible for me to be here today. Thank you, Kelly Bond, Chair of the Scholarship Task Force, and all of the people at the Electronic Security Association that played a role in the Youth Scholarship Program. I'm very honored to be selected for your scholarship. Thank you to Steve Dixon, Vice President of Customer Experience and Operations at Vivint, and to everyone from Vivint who supported the large contribution to ESA's Youth Scholarship Program. I would also like to thank my dad, a lieutenant at the City of Ann Arbor Fire Department, and everyone around the world that spends their time and effort to protect and promote the safety of others. These people include firefighters, police officers, paramedics, members of the armed forces, lifeguards, members of ESA, and countless other people who use their talents to protect and promote the safety of others. My goal is to use my own talents in mathematics and physics to solve problems and promote safety through engineering. This fall, I will be attending Purdue University to study engineering, and this scholarship will pay for over 1/2 of the cost for my first year there. With my engineering education, I want to apply what I learned through strength of materials, finite element analysis, Bernoulli's principle, and Pascal's equations to make life-saving equipment like Hurst's Jaws of Life more effective. From my dad, I've learned that tools like these are vital in saving lives at the scene of a car crash, and I believe that I can promote safety by improving this innovative technology. Although I believe I can promote safety, although I can't be sure where my education will take me, it's a safe bet to say that I will be working to improve the lives of others and the safety of the world around them. Again, I can't express how thankful I am to the Electronic Security Association and to Vivint for this scholarship and the opportunity to come to this conference. Thanks to ESA's help and Vivint's commitment that made this possible, together we can all work to make the future safer and more secure. Thank you and have a great conference.
Thank you, guys. What a great job Kelly and Steve you did, and congratulations to Cameron. You definitely make a lot of parents out there very proud to see the youth of today do so well. So congratulations again, Cameron. Just so I don't forget, speaking of ESA, tonight we have the Weinstock Jackson Award presentation. That's going to be at the Country Music Hall of Fame, which is right, I don't know if I have it right, but it's out here somewhere. And if you haven't registered for it, please do so. It's going to be a lot of fun, so we look forward to seeing you all out there. And my daughter's singing, so if you want to hear my daughter sing, please come out. That was a proud dad moment, by the way. Okay, we have two additional special guests in the audience today. Mike Ritlin, former Navy SEAL and founder of Warrior Dog Foundation, and his warrior dog, Rico. Warrior dog. So remember that when you go up to it. Mike, would you please stand up? And so folks can see you. And I don't know, Rico, can you stand up? Stand. We tried. Anyway, welcome. Mike and Rico were featured on a 60-minute segment in April. ESA is proud to have chosen the Warrior Dog Foundation as its fundraising project at ESX this year. The Warrior Dog Foundation helps to transition Special Operations Force dogs from an operational environment into Mike's state-of-the-art kennel facility. The foundation strives to educate the public on the importance of canines in the combat environment and showcase the level of sacrifice these dogs give in support of our troops. The Warrior Dog Foundation cares for each canine with dignity and grace, including both mental and physical rehabilitation for the rest of their lives. ESA is accepting donations for the Warrior Dog Foundations for just $20. You get this great dog tag. And I think it's great. I have, this is mine here. So if you don't have one, please make a $20 donation because it's very cool. And you can buy two if you want to. Also, Mike and Rico will be autographing Mike's book. How does Rico do that? He's going to be autographing it? A little paw print? Okay, he'll bite it. I'll let that one go. Trident K9 Warrior in the ESA booth tomorrow afternoon. You can buy the book for $50 tax-deductible donation. So be sure to visit ESA booth tomorrow after the ribbon cutting to meet Mike and Rico. And thank you, Mike and Rico, for your great service to our country. After the Newtown tragedy, almost everyone in the security industry was looking for a way to help. Recently, ESA sent out a request for school safety experts and received responses from all across the country. The genesis of this initiative was born from a conversation at ESA's leadership conference in February. Among those present were Joy Curtis of Interlogics, John Galante of AE Ventures, Merlin Gilbo from ESA, and myself. These school security experts formed a volunteer panel led by David Koenig, ESA Executive Committee member, and develop guidelines to aid schools when considering electronic security systems as part of their overall security program. The day after tragic events at Sandy Hook Elementary School, my wife and I received an email from our kids' school district that said, "Don't worry, parents. Your kids are safe. We have taken the necessary precautions to ensure safety. This is the change that was adopted by the school on the following Monday morning. It basically says everybody must check in at the front office, and that was the sign, and they put 4 planters to block people from going there. That's not what I call school safety. This guideline is only the beginning step in helping schools across the country understand how to create a safer environment for this country's greatest resource, our children. Some of the panel members are here today, and I would like to acknowledge them. So please stand when I say your name. Doug Gambrill, Sales and Project Management for Safety Technologies from Middleburg Heights, Ohio. Tom Hamilton, Designer for Electronic Security from Lowell, Ohio. Dorian Cruz, Engineer System Specialist for Capitol Fire and Security from Madison, Wisconsin. Lloyd Young, Security Division Manager of API Systems Group from Tyler, Texas. And David Koenig, Partner at Capitol Fire and Security from Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you for all your work and your dedication on this very important project. Today's featured speaker is Newtown, Connecticut Chief of Police Michael Kehoe. Chief Kehoe began his career with law enforcement 35 years ago. His tenure with the departments include roles as Sergeant, Captain of the Operations Bureau, and his current role as Chief, which he assumed in 2001. Chief Kehoe previously served as Vice President of the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association Board of Directors. He is currently involved in a number of outreach programs, including a position as chair of the statewide narcotics task force. Chief Kehoe is most well known for leading the first response efforts at the recent school tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School. No matter what country we are from, what race we belong to, what religious belief or political affiliation we have, we will always remember the heartbreaking events at Sandy Hook. At this time, we would like to take a moment of silence for the children who lost their lives, for the parents who lost their precious children, for the teachers who became heroes that day, especially those who gave their lives to protect their students. We pause also to think of the children who witnessed this horrific event, which will affect them for the rest of their lives, and for the first responders who bravely assisted at the scene of this heinous crime and are placed in harm's way every day for us. Please take a moment. It is now my honor and my privilege to welcome Chief Michael Kehoe to the stage.
Good afternoon. Chiefs, invited guests, honored guests, sponsors, and certainly spouses that are here today. It is my pleasure and honor to be here today with the Central Station Alarm Association and the Electronic Security Association. As you know, the ESX provides security professionals with the latest in education and security systems. Representing my law enforcement professionals with representing my law enforcement colleagues today is truly a distinct honor and one that I will not forget. When George DeMarco and Glenn Mowry invited me to this expo to share my story, I also knew that I would gain tremendous insight and understanding of the electronic security profession. My acceptance of this invite was easy because I knew I would be thanking this group for all that it does for our communities, residences, businesses, to keep them safe and secure every day. Your job, in some ways, is a job of prevention, which in many ways is hard to gauge success. but I thank you for your loyalty and your dedication to humanity. I thought I would start out my speech with a brief overview of the facts revealed so far for the Sandhook Elementary School shooting. I do this because of the unique media interest and the many reports in the media which may be untrue or misleading. On the morning of December 14th, 2012, a lone person, aged 20, of Newtown, shot his mother, Nancy Lanza, age 52, in her bed with a .22 caliber rifle. There was no indication of a struggle prior to Nancy Lanza being shot. Later, the shooter went to Sandhook Elementary School, where he shot his way into the building and killed 20 children and 6 adults with a Bushmaster .223 caliber model AR-15 rifle. The Bushmaster was loaded with a 30-round capacity magazine. 14 rounds were in the magazine when the Bushmaster was recovered by police. There was 1 round in the chamber. The shooter took his own life with a single shot from a Glock 10mm handgun. He also had a loaded 9mm Sig Sauer handgun on his person. Recovered from the person of the shooter, in addition to more ammunition for the handguns, were 3 30-round magazines for a Bushmaster, each containing 30 rounds. Located in the area of the shootings were 6 additional 30-round magazines containing various rounds, 10, 11, 13 rounds, respectively. 154 spent .223 casings were recovered from that scene. It's currently estimated that the time from when the shooter shot his way into the school until he took his own life was less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The police found a loaded 12-gauge shotgun in the passenger compartment of the car the shooter drove to the school. The shotgun was moved by police from the passenger compartment of the car to the trunk for safekeeping. Subsequent investigation revealed that the shootings took place in 2 of the classrooms at Sandhook Elementary School, and that the shooter was not wearing a bulletproof vest. The guns used in the shootings were apparently all purchased by the shooter's mother. There is currently no indication that the shooter attempted to purchase the guns and was denied. The gun locker at 36 Yogananda Street, the home of Nancy Lanza, was open when the police arrived. It was unlocked, and there was no indication at all that it had been broken into. Sandhook Elementary School is Newtown's largest elementary school, with over 450 school-aged children and approximately 55 faculty and staff. In my opinion, Sandhook Elementary School was one of the safer schools in the Newtown School District, with their key staff always focusing in on school safety and security. It was not uncommon for this school to be drilling for events that most agreed would not happen. Sandhook Elementary School had a passive entry system which locked the front entrance doors immediately after school buses dropped off all students. Thereafter, all persons who wished to enter had to buzz for entry into the building, including myself, when I went to the school. Their drilling and training, the teachers' heroic actions, and the physical security barriers of the school made the entry into the building difficult for the shooter, and loss of life less than what it could have been. We know that in many cases, and especially in this case, precious seconds wasted meant precious lives saved. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt we can do more to safeguard the most vulnerable population in a school setting. Research will show that persons willing to do harm to the masses are at an all-time high and an all too frequent occurrence. By developing robust security measures, we can help decrease the probability of future attacks and thereby make our school environment safer and more secure. It will take more cooperation from many to accomplish this. It is for this reason I ask you to embrace the electronic security guidelines for schools. These guidelines are the blueprint for school security planning, encouraging the creation of school security partners and the application of school security evaluations and security assessments. We all know that the needs of schools will differ with many differing factors. For instance, age of the student population, size of the complex, location of the school, physical and structural makeup of the school, and emphasis on school security and safety. To be effective in our efforts, we need to determine the threats and the vulnerabilities of our schools. As we know, security is the protection of a person, property, or organization from attack. The theory of security is to know the types of possible attacks, threats, or vulnerabilities, to be aware of motivations for the attacks, and the relationship to these motives. The security or defense against such threats is to make it difficult to attack, threaten countermeasures, or make preemptive attack on the source of the threat. We are well aware that you can defend against attack by having proactive mechanisms or security measures in place. We also know that rapid response to an attack is also important. The first line of defense against an attack is to make it difficult for your enemies or the criminal-minded person to make the attack. By displaying a good defense of security measures, we can make our schools and our communities much safer. And the criminal-minded people may become discouraged and decide not to make those efforts. School officials, politicians, parents, students, and staff have come to realize that unfortunately, violence can happen anywhere. Suddenly, security is an issue in every school, and it's really everybody's business. We must make gains in both of our industries, security and policing, if we are going to meet the service needs and missions of our communities in the future. As stated, different schools face different threats: fighting and bullying, gang activity, theft, vandalism, drugs, even simple attendance and visitors logging in addition to the other vulnerabilities mentioned, will challenge us in our efforts to safeguard our schools. Situational awareness, combined with advanced security systems and a hardened school infrastructure, will make the difference for the future and in the future. You know, oftentimes parents and students evaluate the strength of an institution by the school security programs prior to enrolling. This may be the new and much needed paradigm shift in our school systems across America. We all are aware that the practical and cost-effective recommendations for security and crisis preparedness planning is violence prevention, physical security measures like access control, communications, perimeter security, after-hours safety, physical design, etc. In addition, school safety training, school security staff and police operations, and the linking of security with prevention and intervention. All of these support advanced school safety initiatives. We must help our school leaders evaluate the following: school emergency and crisis plans, district and building school crisis teams, school security drills and exercises, school training on emergency and crisis plans, school crisis communications, and related school emergency planning components. We must restore the trust held high once by advising our schools when they improve emergency management and emergency response capacities, when they review lockdown protocols, evacuation procedures, crisis media, and communication practices. With their best practices and with their understanding about security and school crime prevention and national trends in school deaths and violence, these things will be the nexus and hallmark for greater safety and security throughout all of our school districts in America. As I wrap up today, I want to again thank you for this unique opportunity to address this audience. There is no doubt that we, working collaboratively, can improve public safety in all of our schools. Future threats and attacks on our most precious institutions can be minimized and prevented through the effective use of access control measures, intrusion detected devices, video surveillance, mass notifications, proper police responses, and police involvement, combined with proper school safety policies and procedures. The ESA's electronic security guidelines is the perfect blueprint for school boards and school administrators evaluating their security needs in the wake of many new threats never ever conceived before Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. We must start the conversation with our partners utilizing these guidelines. I implore each of you here today to be our continued partners in securing the communities and schools of the nation. I once again thank you for this opportunity, and may God bless each and every one of you assembled here today. Thank you.
Chief, if you could just stay up there for a little bit. We're going to have a Q&A session right now, and I'm going to turn this over to John Galante because he always has great questions to ask.
Anyone got a question out here? Chief, did I hear you right that the folks in this room who provide electronic security measures, do you think that they should be playing a role in the training and planning side of things in addition to actually providing the products and systems?
Well, yes, you know, maybe not in the absolute training of every part of school security, but certainly in those things that are going to make a difference in securing those schools they service.
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Okay.
The question I have is, last night we talked, and actually he caught me stealing his reading glasses because I broke mine.
I got him back, thank you.
So I just want to let you know that I have my wife's reading glasses if you need them. I don't know if
I
they
have
work.
my own, thanks.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Anyway, he said something that was very important and it resonated with me. Obviously, when it happened, it was horrible before and during. But he told me something that the aftermath was even more impactful. I don't know if you could expand on that.
Sure. Part of law enforcement's job is to make notifications of deaths to individuals. If you can imagine making a mass notification to many, many families sitting in a room who cannot find their children, their loved ones after the event, that aftermath part can be just as painstaking and just as horrific as the event itself. And those were, you know, one of those details that, you know, many people just take for granted. But, you know, law enforcement is challenged every day to go out into the community, to make those notifications in the most compassionate way. And we did that on that day. To expand a little bit further on what George was asking, certainly the things that happened to Newtown afterwards, the spotlight was on Newtown for many, many days. The media became a huge issue for us. It was not only our statewide and local media, it was the national media and the international media. If you've never ever had to deal with an international media, I think they're called paparazzi for one reason. They usually don't have many boundaries. So we were constantly dealing with that complaint every day of people spying on them or trying to get into their houses, calling them, sending them emails. So the aftermath lasted for several weeks thereafter, and it continues till today.
Chief, I spoke with you a few weeks ago. You were talking a little bit about the impact it had on your officers, and I don't know if there's anything you could share with the group as far as how that's coming along.
Sure. You can imagine we had thousands of officers respond to this event and the aftermath. We have a small agency of 45 officers. The investigation itself took hundreds of officers to do. And then we had 26 wakes, funerals, internments to handle, the media to handle, the enormous amount of memorials that were built all over town, traffic. It took thousands of officers to safely secure our community every day. The first responders, all of them, fire, EMS, police, and again, there was hundreds of responders, all went through traumatic event. It's trauma in its best sense. Today, we look towards our EAP professionals, our mental health professionals to guide us as we look to recover and be more resilient. I'm proud to say that I think we've done some great things organizationally and recommended other things to other organizations that maybe their officers are experiencing. And I feel very confident that we won't have any more victims, and that's my concern. Law enforcement is there to safeguard, just like you are. And you kind of feel like you've let somebody down when you haven't been able to safeguard your community, and you have such a horrific event occur.
Chief, we had the pleasure of speaking last night as well, and one of the bright spots out of this tragedy that you mentioned was the collaborative effort between your department and other police departments in Connecticut, but also at a federal level. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. Connecticut's a small state. We don't have a county system of government. We have counties, but they're there for natural disaster type events. No government backs them up. So National Weather Service will say, you know, Litchfield County's under severe winter storm warning. So we have to rely on our partners. We have 169 towns and communities in the state of Connecticut. Home rule is huge in the state of Connecticut. Our state police are our partners. Our local police departments are our partners. The FBI is our partners. We meet as often as we can to get to know them face to face, have their numbers in our cell phones. In this situation, that proved to be a great asset to us because we all showed up. The FBI, our federal partners, the state police, our local police, they all showed up. We all knew each other because we had leveraged those relationships. It made getting through this incident for the at least first 2 weeks and thereafter much easier to handle.
We have a package here. FedEx? Is there a Mike Miller in the room? Mike, come on down. I have no idea what's in it. See, last year we had Perry the Platypus presentation, if anybody of you remember that. It was for Ralph Sevenor and John Loud. And it was a boxer presentation. If you liked it last year, I'm sure you'll love it this year. Anyway, this all started when Dom Dascoli, ESA past president, you stand over there. I don't want to get hit by you. He got a very cool jacket, presidential jacket, with a number 39 on it. It had number 39 because that signified the number in the office. Well, Mr. Miller, a former ESA president, clearly whined about this. I mean, he really whined about it because he didn't receive one. He had jacket envy. So I have good news for you. After extensive and exhausting fundraising, Mike, I have this article of clothing for you that you can wear with pride at the office or when traveling. You can wear it actually at home if you want to, or when you're traveling to shows like this. Let me reach in here and see what we got. It says, Mike Miller, ESA President, number 30. But don't go just yet. There's more. So many of us connect the Disney brand with what? Guest appreciation, hospitality. In the past ESX years, we launched an ambassador program, asking industry folks from around the U.S. to be advocates of this ESX. Although there is not a written description that describes the perfect ambassador, I think Mike may be the perfect model, especially after reading an email from a security provider. This is, I quote, "One person that really stuck out at ESX and befriended me was Mike Miller, and I really appreciate it." So with that, it's kind of another article of clothing. Lights up there. Mike, I really appreciate all you do for ESX and for spreading the magic as the best ambassador we have out there. Thank you, Mike, for doing a great job. Well, this is the end of it. Congratulations to the winners, and thanks to you, our audience, for being here for the Icebreaker Luncheon. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for our keynote speaker, Roy Spence. I think you're really going to enjoy this. And of course, don't forget about the world-famous crawl tomorrow night. And remember, what happens in Nashville will be probably recorded on security surveillance. Have a great afternoon. Thank you all for coming.